Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hi, Stephen. I'm
Hi,
very,
Natalie.
very happy that you are here and we are ready to share a little bit and to chat a little bit about what is going on and what I'm calling a collective trauma
Mm-hmm.
that is really going on with all of us. And I have all my clients, all my audience that I've been, bothering like this month
I'm
with
sure.
videos and audios and meditations and saying to them, please, please breathe. Please stop a little bit every hour, stop 10 minutes to move your body, to
Mm-hmm.
breathe, or to, smell the flowers or
Right.
go to the sun. And I'm pretty sure that most of them are saying, okay, it's a little bit new age for me. So I decided
Yeah.
to invite an expert, a New York expert,
Oh
because
my.
because it's too much, California new age.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to invite you and to give all your credentials. So to make sure that we are in this security blanket,
Yes.
we can put it in our bodies and say, okay, let me talk to an expert. Let me talk to someone that really helped a lot of people in different countries in very difficult situations. So I'm very, very thankful that you are here. And please,
Well,
make
okay.
give
Well,
all your credentials, like, okay,
okay, this is it.
who are
Boom,
you
boom, boom.
talking about, who I
Well,
am.
the best part about my credentials, which I'll go over shortly, is that I'm a skeptic. And that over the years, I've heard many things, oh, do this, do that. And, some of it sounds like, are you kidding me? But there is a very big body of research and that supports everything that Natalie, who has worked with me and we've co-led and trained with me, that supports the very exercises we tell you to do. A lot of people say, oh, do this, do that. But it's what they imagine is helpful. But this is all tried, true, and tested. I've been in clinical practice for 52 years. I first was trained by the very people that Freud trained and sent to the United States. Over these 52 years, I've been trained in 19 other forms of therapy. And I worked with the founders. I worked with Laura and Fritz Perls in Gestalt. I worked with Jay Marino in the psychodrama. And I could go on. And I was a patient in all of those things. So anything Natalie asks you to do, or I might ask you to do, we've done it.
Yeah.
We don't just talk about it. And 30 years ago, when I was working and training people from Mexico and Central America, and the students who are all from highly traumatized backgrounds, I discovered that since a lot of it was interactive, that we were triggering a lot of trauma, and everything I knew wasn't really helping to resolve the trauma. Now, I could have decided, well, they're unanalyzable, we can't work with that. But 30 years ago, there was no trauma arena. And I started to find and look for anyone who had some answers to how to prevent, how to reduce, and how to heal trauma. And 30 years ago, I discovered EMDR, Francine Shapiro. I trained with her. She was one of the very, very first with eye movement and working with memory storage. And I just kept tracking and tracking. And today, it's a very documented, researched area. Over that period of time, I have worked with both Chase Manhattan Bank and many of their top executives right after the World Trade Center tragedy, not only during and after, but within 2 or 3 months when they could go back into the building, which was almost right at the center of the target, the World Trade. We had to work with the amount of trauma from their whole staff. I worked with the fire department. There were 300 firemen in the firehouse I worked with. 150 died. So you can imagine the other firemen and their families. I worked with the indigenous groups in Mexico on the Guatemalan border. I worked with both, it was the first time that anybody worked with both the indigenous and the white Spanish power groups in Guatemala at the same time during the Civil War. And of course, I've worked with a lot of underprivileged Black and Hispanic young men and women from the ghettos around New York City. So I have a lot of experience. And I was there for the World Trade Center. I saw it come down from my terrace, and I did the silly things we're asking you to do. And I was in the zone where people were highly traumatized. The only side effect I have now is if there are 10 or 15 or 20 helicopters in Sao Paulo, I look up and, oh, I'm in Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the reaction. All my friends who didn't follow the advice that I'm trying to teach them had secondary trauma or really post-traumatic stress for several years, which really impairs their family relationship and really impaired their business relationship. So that gives you some idea. Is that enough?
Yeah, yes, totally
Yeah.
enough. But the point is, what I keep saying to them is we are in a collective trauma.
Right.
But when you talk about wars and disasters and tragedies, they can, you know, they can feel, they can see that is a trauma. But
Right.
here we are in the first month and a half of, you know, isolation. That and it's the word that I hate, because isolation leads to post-traumatic stress.
Exactly.
We know this, and we're going to talk about it. But the point is, we are really in a collective trauma. And if we have these protocols, these advices, this, you know, step-by-step activities that we can do and we shouldn't do,
exactly,
it's easier to avoid for the next 3, 5, or 6 months ahead this, all the symptoms of secondary trauma or the post-traumatic stress. Is that right?
Yeah, I can underline that, because when you're traumatized, it's for a specific period of time. So it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the general population around you isn't going through the same thing. This is worldwide. This is not just your family. This is not just your neighborhood or your community. This is in the entire world. So anywhere you turn or anywhere you look, you're getting trauma information and trauma energy, and it's all negative. For instance, I tell people, no, we want physical distance and social engagement.
Yes.
We may have to engage differently. But
yeah, we're engaging here.
Yeah, the engagement is really important, but it's a worldwide trauma. And one of the things that deepens the trauma is if it keeps occurring over and over and over and over again. We can understand that if somebody is being sexually abused by somebody in the family again and again and again. That's happening to us right now. Because you turn on the TV, what do you hear? Today in Spain, there are so many deaths. Today in Germany, it seems to be plateauing out, but there's so many people who died. We hear it. Death, dying, we don't have enough this, there's an emergency here. In every country, in every neighborhood, in every economic level. And that's one reason, Natalie, I say to people, I watch 10 to 15 minutes of TV after breakfast just to catch up with what seems to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
I pay attention to how many people if they report, how many people had the virus and are healthy now. They don't tell you that. They only tell you the numbers that died. And about 2 hours before I go to bed, I check in to see if there's any news that makes any difference. I don't listen to it because I know I will be traumatized if I stay listening to those reports.
What I'm asking them to do is, rather than watch TV or watch these videos that we are all receiving, from WhatsApp,
right?
Like doctors with their, masks in
on
their faces with a lot of hematomas and, really struggling and, totally traumatized and telling the stories.
Yeah.
But what I keep saying to them, okay, if you need to really listen the news, don't listen and don't see, just read.
Right.
Less, images, less sounds, less stories. So you have the information, but less impact. Is that correct?
And you're in control of it.
Yeah.
In other words, if I'm reading something and then I say, you know what, this sounds to me that it's not substantiated. Oh, like if you're taking this medicine, it's good for malaria, so it's probably good for you now. What we're finding out is it causes heart attacks. So you won't die from the virus. It doesn't do much with the virus after the initial stage, but you will die of a heart attack from taking this medicine. I stop and say, let me put that aside for a while. I can pick it up, I can read it, and we take in differently than when you're watching TV, watching somebody talk, there's a visual image that keeps impacting on your whole system. And also, it's a funny saying, listen to people when they talk like a woman talking to a baby.
Yes.
Stop listening when it's a man commanding a dog, because you have no control over it. When a man speaks like that, and now let's hear from the doctors, and that deeper tone of voice triggers the polyvagal system, which shuts engagement down and says, I'm in danger, danger, danger. If the person is saying, this is a very difficult time, and I know you feel challenged, and you're struggling to be helpful to yourself and your loved ones and the people that work with you, that tone of voice, that facial expression is different. If you see people on TV, they're frozen.
They're frozen. The eyes of the trauma. Yeah.
And you don't want to be looking into the traumatized eyes telling you bad things.
Yes.
It will traumatize you, and you have no control. It's part of the polyvagal system, which is automatic. You cannot intellectualize your way out of it. You will begin to shut down and go into trauma.
Yeah, and what I keep saying is everybody have inside of their homes, in their rooms, in their bedrooms, this.
Yeah.
And the information and the videos start, coming like this. So people are waking up in the morning, open their WhatsApp and seeing all these videos with a lot of this eyes of the trauma.
Yeah.
What I keep saying to them is, sweetheart, what happens when you are, in danger, that this part of your brain shuts down.
Exactly.
Your cognitive mind. And then you start working with your, reptilian or the limbic brain.
Yeah.
So this works here. And it's not helping you to take decisions for your company, for your family, and for your social connections, for your family connections.
And what we know from research, Natalie, is that when you are present, not 100%, because even the Dalai Lama isn't 100% present, but when you're present, you have clarity and you have focus. And when you feel safe enough, you're going to make very innovative, creative decisions. when you're not really present because you're scared. And remember, let's go back 30 to 40,000 years ago. Your ancestors feared
This big
extinction,
tiger.
annihilation, the tiger. So there's a collective unconscious that when the whole world is going through this, it even triggers that. When you're not present and you lose your clarity, your focus, the decisions you
And
make.
the creativity.
But the creativity shuts down because creativity cannot flow when there's that level of anxiety and fear. And so you really want to, first of all, we need to be making creative, innovative, different kind of, I call it thinking beyond the edge, because it's a new world. And you cannot do that when your body is not in some kind of reasonable balance.
When you're frozen.
Yeah.
And it's not frozen from Disney, you know?
No.
It's not, it's just let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and what I'm seeing now with my patients, and I'm sure you're seeing the same, that some of them are, you know, having a kind of symptoms. Today I have a client that he couldn't, you know, stay for all the session because he doesn't want to talk and he doesn't want to look at me. He was, you know, having the session looking at the window. He's not connecting anymore. I have a client that she doesn't want anybody to touch her, like the husband and the kids. Or people are not sleeping, are not drinking, are not, you know, stopping a little bit of work, of doing their work, to breathe and to, you know, to drink some water.
Exactly. And what they say, oh, this is anxiety. No, this is post-traumatic stress symptoms. And, you know, people say, no, I'm functioning, I'm not frozen. We had a student call and and say, you know, I don't know, I'm still signed up for when we can have the classes together, but I don't know if I want to still sign up. I don't know if I can want to spend money now. I just want to sort of be at home. I can't. Basically, she was saying, I can't make decisions.
Yeah,
that's
and
frozen.
It's like I can connect.
Yeah, if you're frozen, it only gets worse. It does not get better. That I know Nathalie can and I can. There are techniques so that you can be a little distant from the feelings, but if you allow the feelings to process, you become focused. In order for feelings to process, your right and left brain have to go right, left.
Yeah.
If it gets frozen on one side or the other, if it stops, you're headed toward post-traumatic stress. So you want to keep right, left.
Yeah, remember this?
Yes.
When I keep doing this with my clients, you know, online, and I'm pretty sure that they are thinking, okay, I'm just doing to make Nathalie happy.
Right. But let me tell you what they're really making happy. Your brain has gotten frozen. It's stuck on one side or the other. Now you're going to really start disconnecting from reality. That's not where you want to be in crisis. This starts the natural organic reprocessing. This is about 60 beats to the minute alternately. It's your heartbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this gets the central nervous system saying, oh, and gets your brain to go left, right. So the feelings and the anxiety processes and it diminishes. It's very, very
without
important.
this breathing exercises, like, you know, just blowing a candle in a very soft way and, you know, let your body settle in and settle down.
Yeah.
To be here and to engage.
Yeah. Remember, the one definition of being poco loco is the degree which your intellect talks your body out of what it knows. So you might say, oh yeah, I'm having trouble sleeping, but of course, that's your body starting to say you're having trouble sleeping because there's something that needs to be looked at, and your intellect is saying, well, yeah, this is a time.
It's normal. It's part of the
Oh, I have a lot of muscle strain in my back. Yeah, I get a little heart palpitations. I'm kind of irritable with my friends or my wife or my family. I'm arguing a lot. Sometimes I feel helpless. Here's a terrible one. I have no sense of humor. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm tired all the time.
And
We
sleeping all the time.
we can intellectualize and say, of course I'm doing that because. No, your body is saying, wake up and process. I need your help so that we can come through this and be proud of the person we are and were and will become in crisis. And before we started recording, I was talking to Nathalie about the importance of how we're losing our identity because so many of us, our families tell us who we need to be and we try and meet that requirement. Our job defines us in the success and how we're seen, how well we're a parent. Society says this is the way you behave. But what happens when all those rules are gone?
Yes.
When you can't go into work, when you can't get the same feedback? This is a
who are you?
Yeah,
You know, under your skin.
It's a worldwide identity crisis. Now, I wouldn't say this to you if I thought you were just empty inside.
Yeah.
But this is a time for you to process so you can say, okay, who's here? Who's the little me in here? And now that I'm free from all of these other expectations, who do I want to be when this is over?
Yes. It's time to make plans for the future.
Yeah,
also.
I feel my business will survive, but I'm so worried about all those people that work for me and so on. What about starting to build the ability to have compassion, to have empathy, to have gratitude? I have gratitude for the delivery guy that delivers the food to our door so that I don't have to go shopping.
Sure.
And he's taking a risk. And I really appreciate that. Have I ever thought about him before? No.
Yeah, and gratitude is one of the most researched technique, scientifically proven to be something that really changes your biochemistry for the good.
And are you overeating? Are you over drinking?
Yeah.
These are all signs. Do you have headaches? Don't let your intellect talk you out because your body is saying, pay attention now. You'll have to pay much less attention later if you listen to us now.
Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of, simple exercise that they can do every single day because we are good about the things that we practice every single day. So if we practice get depressed and complain, we're gonna be excellent on this. But if we practice, listen and meditation, you have a lot, I have a lot.
Yeah.
Doing some meditation, some breathing exercise, some stretching, some
what
music.
I really think is so important for people to realize, we can suggest any number of things during this crisis and that you can use in your work and with your companies and with your families and your friends. And you try different ones, try them long enough to see some will fit better for you than others. It doesn't mean, people try meditation and say, it doesn't work for me. Well, there are 100 types of meditation.
Yes.
It's for instance, people will say, oh, well, yeah, everybody has stress and anxiety. I don't have stress and anxiety right now. And I'd say to you, that's going to cause you trouble because you can't be alive in this world today without stress and anxiety. Now, I know you hear, and I think it's usually not productive. What you think is what you manifest. But I have a client who has put a year's supply worth of food in his closet. He is going to shelter at home because he believes the world won't get back together for a year and then it will be dangerous. He's going to eat a lot of tuna fish and sardines.
Yeah.
When he comes out, because I know the crisis will pass in less than a year, I just have confidence that it will not be this way in a year. He's going to come out into the world that he's created. Because that's how they will experience the world. What kind of world are you creating if you don't say, of course I have stress and anxiety now, but if I don't admit it, okay, I'm stressed. Well, what's stressing me? I'm fearful. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
What's
What
the
is,
fear about?
you know, under and behind and
Behind.
inside?
Yeah. What is it you're afraid of? You know, maybe I won't be able to provide enough for my family. I mean, we may have a good deal of money and so on. I'm not so afraid of losing my business, whatever it might be. Maybe I won't know how to be a good enough parent. Well, once you know what is underneath the fear, fear is just a internal phobia. Don't go any further. Don't look at it any further. Now I have, okay, can I be the best husband and father for my children in crisis so that they don't suffer post-traumatic stress? Well, once I have a name for it, suddenly magic happens. As long as I say, no, I have somebody, your brain keeps checking. Do I have stress? Do I have stress?
Yeah.
So you get more and more stressed and more overwhelmed and less connected. As soon as you say, no, I have stress and anxiety and it's fear, oh, I may not be the best husband or parent. Now it goes into the intellect. It's not triggering the fear centers. It's not triggering cortisol.
It's awakening more of you.
And what I want everybody, because it's helped me so much, of course I have stress and anxiety. What is stress and anxiety really about in this situation? Because I care. Yeah. I care if my friends are suffering. I care if my son is suffering. I care that people I love may be in danger. Well, I don't mind admitting I have stress because I care. So,
yeah. And if I care, I keep saying also,
yeah,
what could you do with your skills, with your capacities,
beautiful,
with your abilities? What can you do to help yourself and to help others in your influence? You know, because people keep saying, what's going to be with the economy and what's going to be with the, you know, I'm not a politician. I can't deal with the economy, but I can deal with the people that are around me in my inner circle of influence. And when I keep, you know, I'm very good on my work. I'm a very good therapist. So I keep, you know, recording videos and audios and meditation and put them online for free for everybody. You are doing the same.
Yeah, same. And you know what I say? I was with my business partner and we're eating, and he was saying, he's being very innovative and creative and he is following everything I suggest he does, and he's staying grounded. And he said, but what about the economy? And I said, do we have enough to eat? He said, yes. Do we have enough to eat for the rest of this week? Do you think we'll have enough food for next week and the week? Yeah. You know what? When it's time to deal with the economy, we'll take it step by step. But the people we care about are safe. We have enough food. We're lucky enough that we can shelter in.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this sentence. There are two sentences I love. The first one is, I am stressed about, say, being a good husband during this time, because I care about the well-being and the welfare of my wife and my children. So I'm stressed about.
Because I care about.
Because I care about. And then the other sentence I use every day, because I follow my own advice, because I have seen too many with people with post-traumatic stress. Yeah. And it will keep me with a very good income for the rest of my life if you get it. but I would
Yes.
much rather
Yeah, but
you not
I
get
rather work with
it.
another thing
Yeah,
than to be,
yeah.
traumatize people for the next 5 years.
So
So,
I'd like to help you be more creative and innovative and
yeah,
help heal other people than do that. But I don't say, I can do this. I can take care of my friends. I can take care of my business. I say, because once I say I can do it, I'm in a contest. Either I win or I lose.
hmm,
If I say, and now I'm feeling into it, I can manage this.
yeah,
I can do that. And I will do that. I've now set a goal, because we need goals or we can't get anywhere, but I'm not setting the goal of the world is totally uncertain, my life is totally uncertain, Brazil is uncertain, but I'm going to do it.
yeah,
I don't believe that, because I'm going to do what? We don't even know what we're doing yet.
yes.
But if you survived your childhood, you can manage this.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I survived
yes.
my childhood, and there were times when I wasn't sure I could manage it, but I know I will and I can manage this. And that perspective
In
is
a
so
way,
different.
that is good for you. It's not, harmful, because if we keep,
Exactly.
every single day without a pause, without meditation, without stretching, without a good, nutrition or good
Yeah.
hydration, and without therapy, without a
Yeah.
circle of support, without
Yeah.
this kind of simple things that everybody can do, you
Right.
know, we will, stay for the next 2 months probably, uh, shutting down and
Yeah.
lock it in a place very dark.
And when we lock in, for every month that you lock in, you have 3 to 6 months of treatment to open up. It is
Yeah,
geometric.
yeah,
The shutdown is I'm unsafe. And once your body starts operating in that realm, to become present and feel that it's okay to engage again is a very difficult task. But maybe we can go through that breathing exercise, and I'll add the parts that I add, because this
sure.
is something I do every day, once or twice a day. Just, I'm so grateful that I'm alive and that I can be helpful to other people, and I'm usually present. I take time to do it.
Yeah, what I'm doing, I used to say that in my, past life, like 2 months ago,
Right.
my past life 2 months ago,
Yeah.
if I, just meditate for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the lunch break,
Yeah.
I will be, totally okay for the rest of my day.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I'm meditating for more than half an hour, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
at 50% maximum of my
Uh-huh.
performance, because
Yeah.
the time is really hard. So what I decided to do myself is every 1 hour and a half or 2 hours, I'm doing this kind of breathing exercise. I
Okay.
just breathe in and just imagine that when I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in tranquility. And when I'm breathing out, like a long breathing out from my mouth, I just letting go every
Mm-hmm.
stress that I had in the past 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
because I was with a client, or I was
Right.
with my kids at home, with my husband, and I breathe out and I keep my feet on the ground and I open my eyes and I keep breathing during this,
Mm-hmm.
simple breathing exercise.
Correct.
And I do some simple movements with my arms,
Mm-hmm.
like stretching open my chest, to really be present, to feel my body in the chair, my feet grounded.
Grounded, yeah.
And if I do this 2, 3, 4 times in a day,
yeah.
It's really good.
And I can make 2 suggestions. One, that when I suggested it, everybody laughed at me, but that's okay. Because before we closed our office, every morning, of course, the office staff was getting more and more anxiety ridden. We would start and gather everybody together with the right physical distance. And then for 5 to 10 minutes, we would all sing a happy Brazilian song, but really sing it full heart, like we had a little bit too much to drink at somebody's birthday, right?
Okay.
And everybody at first when we started doing it, but since I don't know half the words and I was just, but I was having a great time. Well, what we discovered is that for most of the day after that, and I'll explain why, people started laughing. The stress really diminished, because when we start to shut down, this part of our face freezes. Yeah. The muscles that control the hearing in the inner ear tighten, so we don't hear what people are saying as well, and we're listening for dangerous sounds. And that starts telling the body, I'm in danger, I'm in danger, I'm in danger. When you sing a happy, it's great, it's Brazil. You sing a happy Brazilian song and you're looking at each other's eyes, that says to that system, I'm alive, you're alive, we're here, we're engaged. That level of stress and anxiety cannot sustain itself. When you're engaged, it diminishes, because engagement verifies I'm safe.
Yes.
And we, until we were told, no more people in the office, and people said, can we still sing? So I know that Eduardo sometimes gets everybody online in the morning and we sing online.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that can help with Nathalie's breathing is great. What you can do is 2 things. Before you start breathing, think of something that you love doing. Just love doing. I'm just trying to think. Oh, I love a really happy movie and a big bucket of popcorn.
Yeah, I love to be, in the beach, in the sun.
Yeah. And then I start breathing like Nathalie has suggested. And when you breathe in, you're not only thinking tranquility, but just concentrate on the breathing, because you won't get any other thoughts. You're present at that moment. And then you put your hand on your heart and continue to breathe that way. And for at least 1 minute, that's all, remember the beach.
Yeah.
Remember the movie and the popcorn. Our heart has a much larger electrical field than our brain, 1,000 times larger.
Yeah, it's about 3 meters.
Yeah, and it controls the biochemistry of the body without even consulting with the brain. When we're breathing in a way, because when you breathe out a little bit longer, the heart rate slows, which means I'm safe. Now I'm safe, and I'm biochemically remembering that popcorn. Or I have the world's only Buddhist cat. Just sits there and it's another way for saying so lazy, but loves to be talked to and just look at you with her blue eyes. So I'm remembering him. My heart rate is slow. And now positive chemistry is beginning to flow through my body.
Yes.
If you do that 2, 3 times a day, you're going to become the person you want to be in the middle of a crisis.
Yeah, and you won't be, carrying all the symptoms that post-traumatic stress will, lead you in 2, 3, 4 months from now.
Yeah. And to be thankful that your body is showing you the symptoms. And I know from working with Nathalie and us co-leading together and sharing clients, and from all my years of experience, and I've worked with everybody on every continent except the penguins. I don't know what problems penguins have. Probably climate change is the biggest problem they have, and they may be horribly traumatized. But I can tell you cross-culturally, the kind of things we suggest have been tried and tested and researched, and there is a neurological, biological, psychological reason for doing it. And that's to preserve your health and help you become the best person you become. And this is, for me, Natalie, a very exciting time because all the rules are changing. Maybe it's, I've said, maybe the good Lord has said, you know, children, go to your room and really think about how you've been behaving and who you are. Yeah. And when you've thought for a long time, come out of your room and why not start building a world that's the way you have always felt it should be and have been afraid to do that.
Yes. Be brave to do this.
And I tell people to be a hero. Now, a hero is not, or heroine, it's not Schwarzenegger, it's not Rocky. A hero is someone who does the best for themselves and the best they can possibly do in helping other people be themselves in the world. That's a hero.
Yeah.
And
totally
we can
agree.
all be heroes and heroines. Yeah, it's not about
ourselves, for our families, for our systems.
Yeah. I know at this point, my son may be 34, but he's 34, but I can be a role model. And my son isn't 10 or 12 and so on. You're automatically showing your own children or your partner or your friends how to come through a crisis and to use its potential, because it's an opportunity to really be the self and the kind of person that you've wanted to be, and it doesn't have to stay in hiding anymore.
Yeah.
So what we suggest is to support that. And
yeah, to help people move from frozen, you know, to a little bit of action, even though it's a small action or a small movement, but not be, you know, stuck in the fear or in panic or in anxiety, because it's not helping anyone.
Exactly. And every day my mantra is, I'm whole, happy, healthy, and complete. I am whole, happy, healthy, and complete. And I say that to myself because I am whole, as best as we can be whole in any situation.
Yeah.
I do have a connection to happiness. In this moment, I am healthy. And by being present, I'm present the way I can be. I'm complete. And you may have your own mantra.
Yes, yes. Oh. And of course, taking some time to connect with someone that you care. Maybe if you are, you know, alone in your house, or if you are, you know, struggling with everybody in the house, take some time to connect like we're doing right now, and to look at the person and really, you know, took your beautiful eyes to another beautiful eyes and connect and be there, saying, I care about you, I'm seeing you, and I'm here for you.
I got a call from a lovely woman that 50 years ago, I almost married, but I didn't. I married somebody else. And she called me. And she said, do you remember me? And I did. And she said, I'm just reaching out because, you know, it didn't work out with us the way I would have liked. But there were some very special things that we did and we had with each other. And I just wanted to let you know that those feelings are getting me through some of this time, and I was thinking of you. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope you're happy and you're well.
Yeah.
And I was so relieved because I remembered some of the things I did, and I was in my early 20s, and
Wow,
I'm
she
not proud. And I thought, oh my God, she's tracked me down, and now I'm going to hear about it. And she said, I haven't tracked you down for that, you know? We were in a relationship, it didn't work. Hey, those things happen. You went on with your life, I went on with my life. But this is a time, and so I started doing the same with people. Some people that I've thought about, but I haven't bothered to put the energy in. And now with Facebook and all the ways you can connect, just to connect, to say, you know what, you're in this world and I'm in this world and I'm thinking of you. That helps to bring us present.
Yeah. And really connect us to empathy and compassion that are so important at this time.
And what I'd say is I have gratitude that you asked me to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, it's totally my pleasure.
And gratitude for everybody listening, because you wouldn't be listening if you didn't have a concern. And we're as concerned about you as you are about you. And we do have information that, while it may feel silly,
yeah,
will really make your life much easier in the days and the weeks and months to come.
Yeah, because they will come.
Oh, yes.
They will come. Yeah, and we can have, you know, a much easier time in the future if we take care of our emotional and mental health as we is taking care of our physical health.
And what I always tell people is, how do I manifest the future? By what I do in the present moment. But it will come to me in the future is dependent. The past is gone. I can clear it, I can clean it, I can put it in perspective. It comes from a perception to a perspective. But the me in the present moment creates my future. And what I can also say, if there people listening are interested in our advice, or as you're working with companies, and there's going to be a lot of trauma in your businesses and with your partners and with your workers and everything else, they can contact me at actinstitute.org. Best to contact through Eduardo.Trigo, Trigo, at actinstitute.org. I'm interested in hearing from all of you. And Nathalie, I think we should do this again.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk for hours.
I know, we do.
Yeah, we do. But I'm very, very happy and very thankful that you took your time to talk with me and to talk with my audience. And for sure, we're going to talk together to teach some more simple exercises that they can do. And let's get together.
And let me also say that I believe that you and I have the same motive. We love working with our clients in the individual work and the corporate work, whatever it is. We would prefer continuing that work with you and not having to bring you out of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this. It's like, you don't want to go there. We don't want you to go there. We can bring you back from there.
Yes.
But let's not have to do that. Let's really have that beautiful life-affirming energy starting now.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope we see each other soon, even by Zoom.
Even by Zoom.
Yeah. And if you need me for another talk, or if I need you for another talk, let's get together.
No problem.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye.